The first words that I ever said came out in a little balloon over my head. I just always wanted to be a cartoonist. By and large, I don't think people think in humorous terms.
Sherman Goodrich has always looked at things from a slightly different perspective.
I see something, and I see the humor in it.
The 73-year-old uses markers and ink to illustrate the funnier side of life, especially in the world of sports.
There's a lot of humor involved with sports, and so I began to find some of it.
For almost 2 years, Goodrich was a sports cartoonist with the Arizona Republic, poking fun at local teams, mascots, and players with his column Halftime. In today's media landscape, however, Sherman's position has become all but extinct.
Now, I think to use a sports position to do editorial cartooning would be really rare.
That may be the case today, but it hasn't always been that way. From the 1930s to the 1960s, sports cartoonists like Willard Mullen and Leo Amelia graced the sports pages of papers across America.
Used to be tons of them, but that's back in the day when the newspapers was a booming business.
With newspaper budgets shrinking, cartoonists have often been some of the first to go, erasing the art of the sports cartoon.
I think sports cartoons are basically dead. As far as I'm concerned, I think they are.
Even though they still have a lot to offer,
one image with few words that really strike home.
Cartoons are left with an uncertain future. Maybe the internet can save the art form, but for now, artists like Sherman are left to wait and see. In Phoenix, Justin Beatty, Cronkite Sports. North Carolina's Jonathan Cooper is the #2 rated guard in the country. Notre Dame's Mike Golick Jr. is a top 20 center. Despite their impressive college careers, these two offensive linemen know there's still work to be done if they want to make it to the NFL.
You know, really working on being explosive. If I can tighten up my running form, that's one of my biggest goals.
Cooper and Golick, along with 10 other NFL hopefuls, have come to Athletes Performance in Phoenix to achieve their goals.
It's what we like to look at as a refinement school going into the NFL.
Now, they have just a matter of weeks to prepare for the NFL Combine. While they've been standouts in college, getting players ready for the pros is often a different story.
I always fancy myself a pretty good athlete, but they're picking out the little details and showing me my flaws.
For drills like the vertical jump and the 40-yard dash, even the most minor improvements made here can mean the difference between a first-round pick and a fourth-round pick, and millions of dollars.
It's a game of inches, and here it's a matter of seconds and tenths and hundreds of seconds.
At last year's NFL Combine, 74 athletes had trained at Athletes Performance, about 30 of those at the location here in Phoenix.
They've built such a reputation just because of the results that they've gotten from their guys that they've sent to the Combine, sent into the draft every year.
And while they might be fighting for roster spots come summer, for now, these competitors have teamed up to get better. In Phoenix, Justin Beatty, Cronkite Sports. There are a lot of words you can use to describe Arizona State University swimmer Carolyn Kaczynski.
Hardworking.
Versatile.
Tries to be the best.
Incredibly competitive.
But there's one word that also applies. Dreamer.
I've been dreaming about the Olympics since I could remember. Since I started swimming, probably started swimming at 5 years old, and the question I've been asked since probably I was 8 years old and was winning championships and all that was do you want to go to the Olympics? And back then, of course you say yes, you're a little kid, but I never really realized that that could actually become reality.
Over the summer, she nearly reached that goal, finishing third in Olympic qualifying for Team Canada in the 100-meter butterfly. She was less than a second away from an Olympic spot.
I was definitely proud of myself, and I keep reminding myself, getting third in the country, that's pretty special and pretty big accomplishment.
Her inspiration for that race, however, came just a few weeks earlier at the NCAA Championships, when her and her teammates set a school record in the 400-meter medley relay.
At NC's, when we set the 400 medley record, we broke it by 2 seconds. That was such a special relay, just working after practice every day on relay exchanges and just encouraging each other.
As they talked about it and they practiced it over and over and over, to be able to do it, I think was a tremendous accomplishment.
It was also just the push Kaczynski needed.
Olympic trials are two weeks after NCAA, so I carried that momentum into long course.
Olympic qualifying and her eventual third-place finish left Kaczynski hungry for a spot at the 2016 Games in Rio.
I think she gave herself an opportunity. She loves the sport. She loves competing. She loves the preparation of it. So I could definitely see her sticking around another 4 years.
And for now, the only direction she can go is up.
4 years ago, in 2008, I was 30th place at Olympic trials in this event. So knowing that 4 years later I moved up 28 spots, it just gives me so much confidence that in 4 years I should be at the top, right? I should be breaking world records.
We can't know for sure how far Carolyn Kaczynski will advance in the coming years, but we do know that the dreams, those same dreams that have been with her since her earliest days in the pool, are closer to reality than they have ever been. For ASU Athletics, I'm Justin Beatty.